Good morning. Welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Tuesday, August 26th, 2025. And as you can see, I'm not walking. It is pouring rain this morning, or has been pouring rain. Neil got up this morning, heard the rain, and went back to sleep. So currently he's upstairs, sound asleep, pretending he's asleep, I think he is, because he saw me get dressed. And he's like, I'm not going out today, so I'll just lie in bed and pretend to be sound asleep. Normally he's up and about, ready to go. So that's all good. It has stopped at the moment though, but yeah, it has been pretty heavy this morning. So anyway, the show must go on. And here I am on the back of my patio at home. All right, let's get into the boxing for today. Let's go back to, this is on this day, we'll go back to 1904. What do we got here? We've got James J. Jeffries stopped Jack Munro in the second round of 20, it was, to retain his world heavyweight title before a crowd of 8,000 in San Francisco. Also on this day, back in 1995, the late, great Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker defended the world welterweight title with a unanimous decision over Gary Jacobs. That fight took place at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City. And just what a fighter Pernell Whitaker was, winning titles at 135, 140, 147, and even 154. So taken far too early was Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker. And in my opinion, this might be a little bit controversial, I still think he is the greatest lightweight of all time, even superior to the great Roberto Duran. So I'm sure that'll upset a few, but I just think if they fought, that Pernell Whitaker would have won that fight. So anyway, that was on this day. One more actually. I don't know whether this is really worth covering. It's probably more infamous more than anything, but in 2017, Floyd Mayweather Jr. stopped Conor McGregor in the 10th round to go 50-0. That fight took place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And look, I suppose, was it the first one to really start this craze of crossover fights and novelty fights and all this sort of stuff? Maybe. But I think at least with this one, Floyd Mayweather Jr. was, and Conor McGregor to that extent, just the ultimate, not just fighters, but also businessmen. They saw the appeal of this fight. And I think apart from the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, that this is the highest purchased pay-per-view of all time. So pretty crazy stuff. And I think, remember watching that fight, you could just, I saw some highlights of it just again the other day. I don't know why it popped up, but I had a bit of, I haven't watched it since that day. And yes, I did watch the fight. I don't know why. I think a lot of boxing fans boycotted it, but I didn't. I watched it. But you could just see that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was in second gear the whole time. That's if he got the second gear. And as soon as it got to the 10th round, he's like, well, this, enough's enough. Time to put Conor McGregor out of his misery. And look, for his part, Conor McGregor actually showed a little bit of boxing skills, but unlike in the UFC octagon, just no power whatsoever. And I think sort of highlighted just the difference between the two sports, which is obvious. So that's what happened on this day in 2017. And whether you count it or not, that made Floyd Mayweather Jr. his record go to 50-0, and Conor McGregor 0-1. There you go. All right, let's get into today's boxing news. Not a lot happening, I've got to say. Again, I think I said yesterday, we're in a little bit of a vortex, not a vortex, you know what I mean, like a lull at the moment. There's not a lot happening. But one thing I did see, well, actually, I'll get onto it in a sec, but first of all, last night, talking boxing, always eventful, always good fun. Old mate Big J was probably amongst it last night. He's texted me this morning to say it was good fun, and it was. It's always good to discussion, and the thing is, yeah, we can all get a little bit fired up sometimes, but I think it's good discussion. My thing's always just been, if you're going to say something, well, you've got to have the facts and that to back it up. I'm always careful what to say on here, on these, not just, well, mainly this show, but also talking boxing, because there's always someone going to come at you and challenge you and question your opinions or remarks, whatever it might be. So you have to be able to back it up. And I like to be prepared. If someone questions me, boom, I can come straight back. So, and whether the person agrees with me or not, at least saying, okay, well, at least he's he's standing up for, or at least he can back up what he's saying. And that's probably last night. I can't remember exactly what it was all about. I think Big J might have questioned my consistency as far as the Sky Nicholson fight and the No Limit shows. And again, I'll back it up. I won't go over it too much because I've talked about this for the last 2 or 3 days. But my main thing, or my main, I'll spit that out. My main point of conjecture was, or difference between the two shows, between Matchroom and No Limit, is that, as I said last night, both of them were subscription-based, DAZN and Foxtel, but the No Limit show, you had to pay $70. DAZN, you had to pay nothing. That was probably the main difference. And then, of course, the fact that the main event of both fights, or main events in the No Limit case, they didn't deliver. They were both just one-sided mismatches. Both went 1 round, whereas the DAZN main event, Wiley and Dib, was a very, very good action fight that went 10 hard rounds. That's a difference. I don't think you can compare the two. That's what I was sort of getting at. And as far as Sky Nicholson, yeah, I've been critical of her in the past, and I get that. And I was critical of her opponent, but what I was trying to get at, and again I said yesterday, is that I just admire the fact that she's trying to change her style to be more fan-friendly, to be more pro-adaptable, I suppose, where she won't be getting bullied and pushed around. And 10 rounds is a long time in there, even with the girls. It's 10-2s, but it's still a long time. And if you've got the pity-pat style, it's not going to get you far. So what I was saying is that I admire the fact that she's sitting down on her punches and making a conscious effort to be a bit more fan-friendly. So that's what I was trying to say. But, I'm just trying to think of the topics last night. A lot of it featured Canelo, of course, Glenn and Batman. I love those two going at it. That was great. About Canelo and Crawford. What it has done, though, the Canelo-Crawford fight, it's divided fans, but in a good way. A lot of fans either side, very, very constructive reasons about why one fighter wins over the other. And what are we, 3 weeks out now, 2 weeks before I go. And I see this morning one of the articles that Bam Rodriguez has actually backed Crawford to win that fight as well. So a lot of experts, fighters, whoever you might want to say, are all backing Crawford. And I understand why they back Terence Crawford, I do, and I've got no doubt that he could win this fight. But I think I was asked again last night who I would back. I've still got to stick with Canelo. I've still got to stick with him. Now I might change my mind in the next sort of 3 weeks, but I doubt it. I think I would not be surprised whatsoever if Terence Crawford wins the fight. But yeah, I think I said again last night, the big man will always beat the big little man. Not so much the case in this instance. I don't think Terence Crawford's going to be that much smaller than Canelo Alvarez. A lot of people look at, and me included, look at the weight difference, 2 weight divisions. Technically 3 if you look at it. He's had 1 fight at 154. So you take that out, he's gone from 147 to 168. So you got to look at that. But this is a guy that apparently at the moment is 186. Now, actually on that, so I don't forget, I read an article yesterday, and I don't know how true it is. I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but apparently the WBA are launching an investigation into Terence Crawford's weight declaration. Now, being 3 weeks out, I'm assuming they do the 30 days, 7 days, whatever it is, right up to the fight with measuring the weight of the fighters. And apparently he's declared weight, was it what was it? I've got to get my facts right here. It might have been declared he was 154, but apparently he walks around at 186 or vice versa, whatever it is. I should have read it again before I come on, but all I'm saying is there is a discrepancy in the weight that apparently he actually is compared to the weight that he was declared to the WBA. Now, I don't know why they don't have to do a full-on inspector or something there to actually weigh him. I don't know how it all works, but apparently they are launching an investigation, and if it is as serious as what maybe some people are saying, that they could suspend Terence Crawford or whatever. I think the worst the WBA could do, isn't it, is just say, well, you can't fight for our WBA belt. I don't know what power the WBA has in that regard as far as saying, no, we're not going to allow you to challenge for our belt, so it won't be undisputed, because it's up to the commission to suspend the state commission to suspend the fighter, not the actual the organisation. Suspend them from fighting for their title, but not suspend them from fighting in general. So I don't know what's going to come of it. I think it's going to be a bit of a storm in a teacup. I can't remember who actually wrote the story. I won't go into it now, but I had it on my phone. But that are they are the allegations that he has declared a wrongful weight, which apparently is big news. I don't know. I would have thought, especially when it comes to Terence Crawford, wouldn't it be that, well, this is not a guy coming down in weight. This is not a guy that's normally, fights at cruiserweight coming down to super middleweight. This is, so we have to monitor him so that his weight comes down properly and safely. This is a guy that's going to struggle to actually make the weight. To go up to the weight. He's probably going to have to put weights in his pockets or something. I don't know, but although it is true that he weighs 186, well, he's got a bit of work to do to get back actually down to 168. That's 18 pounds. What's that about? It's about 9 kilos, is it? 7 kilos, whatever it might be. Still a fair bit of weight to get off, which is unbelievable to think that this guy fights at 147 and now 154, and he's going to struggle to make 168. I'm sure they've got it. I'm sure they've got it all under control. As there's little Neil coming out to say good day now. He's like, well, hang on, it's not raining anymore. Can we go? Too late there, little fella. But anyway, so stay tuned on that. Now, on the Aussie front, you would have seen recently that Shay Keneally went over to the States to, I won't say confront Clarissa Shields, who went over there to make herself known. She's part of the Salita promotional group now. So she went over there just to, again, make herself known to Clarissa Shields, who was in training camp for the Lonnie Daniels fight. And it looks like it's paid off because both camps are saying that a fight between Keneally and Clarissa Shields is on the card. So that's great news for Shay Keneally if that is the case. The fighting mum, or the fight mum, I think she calls herself. And this is the way you got to do it. You got to shake the tree. You got to go over there and hustle. You can't just sit back here and wait for the phone to ring. You've got to get out there and make it happen. And if this is the case, that is great news for Shay Keneally. It could be, when you think about it, the biggest female fight featuring an Aussie that we've had. I know there'll be some arguments about, we've recently had Shanika Johnson with the undisputed title fight, and Sky Nicholson's had some big fights and previous fighters in the past. But geez, I tell you what, fighting Clarissa Shields, probably the number one pound for pound fighter in women's boxing, is a massive deal for Shay Keneally. I thought, just from my opinion, think that Katie Taylor is still number one pound for pound, but either way, it doesn't matter. Clarissa Shields is still either one or worst case number two. So great opportunity for Shay Keneally. She backs herself. She said when she went over there, she was watching Clarissa Shields work out, backs herself to win that fight, and you have to do that. So I hope that really comes off for her. Now, one fight that looks like it's going to come off that I have no idea how it's even been spoken about is Jermell Charlo coming back and fighting for the WBA 154-pound title. Now, that title, of course, is held by Terence Crawford. That title will be declared vacant as soon as the bell rings or he steps into the ring with Canelo Alvarez. So you would have seen on the weekend, Abbas Barrow won the interim title. And now he has been ordered to fight, or will be ordered to fight, Jermell Charlo once the actual full title becomes vacant. Now, the old WBA in play again here. How does a fighter that hasn't fought for 2 years, and by the time he actually steps into the ring with Barrow, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway, Barrow, it might be another 6 months down the track. So it could be 2.5 years out of the ring and he gets a world title shot. Now, rather than betting on whether he's going to win the fight, my bet would be whether he's actually going to make it to the ring for fight night. We know both Charlo brothers a little bit of a mess outside the ring. So whether he actually makes it to fight night is something that I'd be betting on. I've got my doubts. And look, in one way, I hope he does come back because he was a really good champion before that. I know the Canelo fight was very, very disappointing, but overall he's been a very, very good champion. Surprisingly, he hasn't had a win since 2022 when he beat Brian Castano by 10th round stoppage. So, and you put that on top of the fact that he fought Canelo a year later. By the time he gets in the ring, it could be almost 4 years since he's had a win. Now, it worked for Manny Pacquiao, so maybe it'll work for Jermell Charlo, but weird stuff with the WBA. Now, just quickly, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., this is getting serious. Now, we all saw that he was detained after the Jake Paul fight. by ICE, went to prison in Mexico. Now he's going to stand trial for being part of the Sinaloa cartel. Now that is some serious stuff. Now this could result in some serious jail time. So it would almost complete the downfall of Chavez Jr. Did he ever actually reach any sort of heights? I suppose he held a version of the middleweight title, but to think that he could be in prison for a long, long time in Mexico, pretty crazy to think of the downfall of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But we'll keep an eye on that. But he will stand trial for being part of the Sinaloa cartel. Now I've got to, because there's not a lot happening at the moment, I'm going to just quickly address an article that someone sent me the other day that they wanted me to comment on, and it is about whether if referees or judges should have to be boxers. And it was a really, really, really good question. So I thought I'd answer it today and maybe shed my opinion on it. Should referees and judges, and a lot of them don't have boxing experience, so I can say that as a fact. Whoop, here comes the wind. Should they have to have had fight experience? Now, I suppose if you look at it in a couple of ways, I think it really works for a referee and judge to be able to have boxing experience. I'm not talking about elite boxing experience. I'm just talking about having stepped foot in the ring. Especially, I was just going to say, if you're a pro referee and judge, and obviously it makes sense to have been a pro fighter, but I don't think that's 100% essential. Now, the reason I think it would be very, very helpful for a referee or judge to have been a boxer is because they just know what a fighter is going through. They know when maybe a fighter is maybe in a little bit of trouble. They can see the signs that maybe someone that hasn't been in there might not see. Just starting to slow up a little bit slower in the step. Maybe it's a little breath inside. Maybe it's just a look somewhere. Who knows? Just little signs that a boxer can tell that someone that hasn't been in there might not be able to tell. This is for the referee I'm talking about in regards to maybe stopping a fight. For a judge, it might be looking at the little clever things that a fighter might do inside. You look at, because they have to judge the fight on ring generalship as well, not just punches landed. A lot of things come into it. But to have a fighter or an ex-fighter look at there and go, oh, that was pretty clever, and the way he made him miss the punch, or maybe the counter, all these different things can come into it. So yes, I think it would definitely help for a referee or judge to have been a fighter, again, just to be in the position and look for the little signs, little intricacies in there that maybe someone that hasn't been in there doesn't see. So yes, I think it's helpful, but is it essential? No, I don't think so. I think if you have the particulars right in watching a fight, now when it comes to a judge, if it purely comes down to looking at who's scoring the most punches, well, that can be taught. That can be taught. And if you've actually got a person that's followed boxing their whole life, maybe does boxing or has done boxing in a gym, maybe not necessarily been in the ring, but been around a lot of fighters, been around a lot of trainers, and just followed boxing in general, yes, I think they can probably get away with it. A referee, yeah, look, I think a referee, without being an actual fighter, you could get away with as well. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you're doing what a referee is supposed to do, you know the rules, obviously that's the main thing, and that can be taught whether you've been in the ring or not. They do a lot of training, especially those really elite referees at world level. I mean, they've been around a long time. It's not like they just pluck them out and throw them in there. You know, they might have been a referee on a lower sort of level for 10 or 15 years before they actually get a shot at those big fights. So, yeah, I think so. If it just purely comes down to officiating, no problem whatsoever. But I hope I've sort of answered that correctly. So, should it be compulsory to be have been a fighter to be a referee and judge? Absolutely not. Would it help? Absolutely yes. So I hope I've sort of answered that question anyway. Now quickly, we're going to go through the rankings, and they were updated, I think, last week or the week before. We'll quickly go over the Aussies I'm talking about with the rankings. I had a bit of a look and I see some have changed. Now, in the heavyweight division, I did see Justice Huni is now number 13 with the WBA, number 15 with the WBC, and not with the WBO. So they weren't happy that he went from number 2 and fought Fabio Wardley. So he's out for the time being. Now, the WBO rankings were only updated a few days ago. So not in the good graces is Justice Huni, but he's ranked by the WBA and WBC. At cruiserweight, of course, we've got Jai Pataya. Floyd Masson is number 11 with the IBF. He is, I did see him somewhere else, or did I? Maybe not. No, I haven't seen him anywhere else, but he is, number 11 with the IBF. So that maybe makes it a possibility that he could maybe fight Jai Patai. Jai Patai is, of course, going to fight Hussein Sin Cara in his mandatory next, but why couldn't he have a voluntary next against Floyd Masson and then go to heavyweight? So that is a possibility now that Floyd Masson's ranked number 11. At light heavyweight, we've got Conor Wallace at number 2, really in line for that shot at the IBF belt if Bivol is stripped for not fighting Michael Effort. So Conor Wallace in a great position there. I think that was it. Imam Katayev is ranked number 12 with the WBA, an honorary Australian, we'll call him. I think that was it. Conor Wallace ranked number 7 with the WBC and number 5 with the WBO. So Conor Wallace in a really good position there at light heavyweight, 175. At super middleweight, I don't think we had anyone ranked there from memory. At middleweight, now this gets a little bit interesting. We have Michael Zarafa at number 15. He's also ranked by the WBA's number 8. That's not going to happen though, another fight with Lara, but still, number 8 is also ranked, not ranked with the WBC, but he is ranked number 11 with the WBO. So the interesting thing there is he's ranked with the WBO and IBF, and those titles are both held by Janabek Alimkhanuly. So you never know, he could get a shot at Alimkhanuly. Actually, the other one is Cesar or Matteo Tapia is ranked number 8 with the IBF, where I think he was not ranked anywhere else, I don't think. No, he's not ranked anywhere else, but as I said, still ranked with the IBF. So 2 Aussies ranked with the IBF there. At 154, this is where it gets interesting. We have Nikita Tszyu at number 11 with the IBF. He's ranked also with the WBO at number, number 15 with the WBO. Tim Tszyu, nowhere to be seen. He's out of the rankings. Sorry, I take that back, number 11 with the WBC. But when was that updated? The WBC, it was only a week ago. So, okay, so not ranked there is, Tim Tszyu is ranked still with the WBC. So at least that's good news. But I don't think there was anyone else in the 154s from memory. No, that looks like it's about it. All right, no one, excuse me, at 147 yet, or is it? I think Liam Paro. Yes, number 7 with the IBF is Liam Paro. Not ranked with the others just yet. At 140, I'm not sure. We have John Manu at number 13 with the IBF. And I think Liam Paro might be, excuse me, out of the rankings at 140. He is. So that's it. So just John Manu at 140. George Cambos has gone as well. No one at lightweight. Liam Wilson at 130 is ranked number 4 with the WBO. I don't think he's ranked by anyone else there from memory. No, he's not. So just, number 12 with the IBF, Liam Wilson. So ranked in 2 organisations there. No featherweight. Now, I'm not sure what happened with Sam Goodman after his fight. He is, that wind. Yes, number 5, still with the WBA number 5. Those rankings were updated, when were they? August the 1st. So, yeah, so that was before. They haven't been updated since the fight with Nick Ball. So I'm assuming he'll still be ranked quite highly, Sam Goodman. I don't think there's anyone else there. Now, at 122, I think he's been taken out of the rankings, which I think he has. So, all right, so a couple of divisions to go. 118. Now, Jason Maloney is ranked, where did I see him? I've checked all these this morning. I did see him somewhere. He was ranked, or is he? Maybe I'm thinking of Andrew Maloney. No, it doesn't like he. I think it was with the WBC. Where is he? Jason Maloney, there he is, number 9 with the WBC. So that's the only organisation he's ranked with is the WBC's Jason Maloney, number 9. And then this is Andrew Maloney. So he's ranked still number 2 by the IBF. He's ranked was not ranked with the WBA, what else is new there, but he's ranked number 3 with the WBC and number 1 with the WBO. So that belt is held by Jesse Rodriguez, and the WBC belt is held by Jesse Rodriguez as well. Now, the only problem with Jesse Rodriguez, he's actually fighting Fernando Martinez in a unification fight at the end of the year. So he's sort of out of action for a little bit at the moment. That's on the Riyadh card in November. So Andrew will have to probably wait till the first quarter of 2026. So I'm assuming he'll have a fight in that time as a bit of a tune-up, maybe even two, to keep busy and keep his ranking active. So that's about it there, guys. I hope I haven't bored you too much with the rankings, but that is it there. So, guys, that's going to do it for today. Give me your thoughts as always. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll catch you tomorrow.